And your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200-something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer and explorer. Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shut in your mind talking about Justin Bieber.
Hello out there. We're on the air. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's great to see you today. This one's titled, Bitcoiners Will Be Very Wealthy Soon. And should be a good one today. Who knows? Could be the best episode of our lives. Could be just another Thursday. Time will tell. But either way, it's great to be with you today. Looks like our microphone's working. Our video's working. And I want to repeat the phrase at the bottom of the screen here, which says, wow, it's taking a while. Timed that very poorly. We talk and think only of abundance. If you have a tale of woe, please keep it, as we do not want it. And it's all tying together. It's all coming together here, folks. Bitcoiners will be very wealthy soon. So we got a couple different things to talk about today. The one main topic, which we'll get to a little bit later on. But either way, it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. With Arnie and I should say. It is a pleasure to be with you, me, and Arnie boy. All right, let's get that off the screen here. Okay, how maybe let's start the show a little bit differently today. Let's start with a little bit of live chat interaction, because I see we got a good crew in the chat today. So just put a number 1 to 10 right now, 1 to 10 on how you're feeling. How you're feeling. I had a note I found this morning in my Obsidian. By the way, I had a lot of fun playing with Obsidian last night. I just learned how to do something last night. Is there anything more fulfilling than learning something new? I'm not sure that there is. I mean, you could say there's more desirable things. There's more potentially better feelings in the world. But is there anything more fulfilling than taking some of your time, learning how to do something new that's going to make you become more valuable in the future? I don't think there is. And I think we miss a lot of that when we start to grow up, because we just get caught up in the same day over and over again, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, doing the same tasks, maybe meeting some new people along the way, but you don't really learn much. And I remember even my time as an accountant, I didn't do, I shouldn't say that, because I had some really good mentors there that helped me a lot, but I just didn't have the same sense of learning something new, because we'd get like software updates. You'd have to learn a new how to use a new software, how to use a new program, but it was never like enjoyable because I didn't want to do it. And it was just kind of more of a pain in the ass. But man, if you want to learn something, there has never been a better time to do it than there is right now. I'm blown away. I use AI every day, a lot throughout the day, for many different things. But I just, how could you ever be fearful of AI? Like just like anything, even with Bitcoin, there's good and bad. It can be used for the good. It can be used for the bad. And that's kind of the scary part to a lot of people. But for me, man, I just see like AI is just like a superpower almost. That's what it feels like. It feels like a superpower, and not even just like to get more done, but to like do more exploration and do more building and do more creating and saving time. And kind of going off of what we talked about in yesterday's show, time is all we have. Time is the only thing that matters. Everybody chases money, but money is just time and energy in an abstract form. So that's how you measure your time, as money. It's not a thing. It's just an illusion. And part of what we're going to be talking about today is part of this book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And that's how he starts the book. This is the best book I've ever read before. And I've read a lot of really good books. But this book here, and it starts off by basically talking about how money itself is just an illusion. What really matters is time. And so then, I'm going to share a video on the channel today. It's a clip from yesterday's show, but it talks about how important time is. And that's really all that matters. That's what everybody wants more of, is more time. Everybody. And I think you notice that as you kind of go through life, which is when you're 20 years old, you wish that you had the wealth and the capital and the value accrued that a 70-year-old has. Because you drive down the street and you see this big house and you're like, why don't I have that? Why don't I have that? I wish I had that. But then the 70-year-old who's in that house, or not even 70, let's say 80-year-old or even higher than that, they're wishing for the opposite. They see you driving down the road or walking down the road, and they see, man, I would give anything to be that age again. So time is what matters most. Time is what matters most. And so I appreciate you all who are here today for taking some time out of your life today and most mornings to be with us today. And I want to start today giving some thanks to, number one, to Chuck yesterday. Chuck had a big day in the zaps and the support, and I missed one of his zaps. He actually sent a shot of espresso to Arnie Boy, to the Rescue Dog Fund, which I missed. I don't know if it came in after the show. And also Joshua. I don't know if he's here or not today, but I gave him credit I said thank you for 1 membership. He actually purchased 5 memberships yesterday. 5 for the Rumble channel. So big shout out to Josh. He'll probably be listening to this later. I don't see him in the chat. I haven't seen him in the chat. But so thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it, boys. And with that, let's get on with the show. Let's see who's here. Who's who in the zoo today? Who's who in the zoo? I think I have to set this one again to be private today on Rumble, which I don't necessarily enjoy doing, but something that I have to do. Usually I do it through the Maple streams because there's usually not too many people on Rumble there anyways. But this month we missed a Maple stream, so I'm gonna have to go private today on Rumble again. You know what? We'll do it next week. Forget about it. Okay, Lauren said Josh gifted me a member yesterday. Yeah, I missed that. I only gave him credit for 1. So, Josh, if you're watching this later, I appreciate it, man, very much. Okay, where's the chats here? I actually asked a question, so I should check on that first. Look at this, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Scotty Boy says 9 out of 10. That's how Scotty's feeling. Jake, 21 hats, 8.33, good number. Another Jake. Why aren't these showing up as I've already read them before like they have been? What the hell? Oh, well, Jake, we got 2 Jakes in the chat today. Mark says 10. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Buck 52 says 8. Ginger said 7. Francis says feeling 10 out of 10. Man, that's it should be 10. It has to be 10. Because if you say anything less than 10, then you're convincing yourself to feel like less. The importance of words, I think that people really underestimate the power of their words. But I mean, still, these are all pretty high numbers, so I don't want to make anybody feel too bad, but this should be the number here. The correct answer is 10. Because that's the thing. You have the ability to tell yourself that you're feeling 10 out of 10, and usually things change. It's like when you say the words, I feel sick. I think I'm getting sick. And I'm guilty of this. And I'm doing my best to change it. But when you say the words, I'm feeling sick, what happens there? What happens there? You start feeling sick. You get sicker. So anytime you're feeling sick, man, just try to convince yourself. It might not always work. It usually does, though. That's the crazy part. And it might not fix you 100%. It might not cure you. But, man, the power of your thoughts and the power of your words, I think a lot of people take for granted. So you just tell yourself, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. No mention, no thought, no anything around the word sick. Nothing. It's sounds freaking crazy. Sounds pretty woo-woo. But it's the truth. Lauren said he's a 10. And Scotty said 10 if Jerry is looking. Jerry here? I haven't seen Jerry. Where's Jerry? I missed one here. Backpacker says 1 out of 10. But hoping for a 10 later today. Fingers crossed. Okay, I must have missed something here. Backpacker says, good morning, beautiful people. George, our dog, great name, is currently in surgery. He swallowed a sewing needle. He'll be in recovery most of the day. Long day ahead. Swallowed a sewing needle. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. A sewing needle. Oh, God. Well, yes, we got some thoughts for George today. Let's do that. Everybody take like 10 seconds and just give George some good vibes, good energy. You want to call prayers, you want to call whatever, but send some good energy to our guy George. Sewing needle. Oh, good freaking heavens, man. That's tough. He'll persevere. I got a feeling George is a tough guy. His name's George. He's a dog. His name's George. He's going to be very resilient. I'm betting on the best. I'm not hoping for the best. I'm betting on the best. Shout out to George today. Shout out to George. Ginger's here. Ginger with the first in the chat today. Good morning, Ginger. Good to see you, my friend. Sats and Sunsets. My man, we're feeling good today. Sketchucation, we're 10 out of 10. How much Bitcoin do those ducks own? Probably none. Not many animals own Bitcoin. This guy does. Oh, he's gone. Although nobody really owns Bitcoin. That's the thing. Nobody really owns Bitcoin. And I think the more you can understand that, the better your life's going to be. You don't own anything, actually. You're only a custodian of it. I actually like that. I like the idea of thinking of yourself as a custodian because you don't own anything. And when you think that you do, and that's actually a part of that book that we're going to be talking about today, when you think that you own something, it owns you. So you don't own anything. You don't own your house. You don't own Bitcoin. You don't own your hat. It's just yours for now. Might go to somebody else in the future. Might go to the trash. Who knows? But you don't own it. It's you're just the custodian of it. And I like the custodian aspect of it because that's very applicable in the Bitcoin world as well. Looking at who really owns the private key. And still, after all the after this is live stream number 545, and I swear to God, there's still people who watch the stream that think that the Bitcoin's in their Sparrow wallet, like the Bitcoin themselves are in the Sparrow wallet, or the Bitcoin themselves are in their Aqua wallet. How you own Bitcoin is you have access to a private key that has Satoshis attached to it. Your mail slot, I guess you call it, your mail slot. You have the private key to your mail slot, and whatever's in your mail slot, the contents, your Satoshis, that's what you have access to, but it's a private key. Bitcoin doesn't move. Bitcoin doesn't move anywhere. It just goes from one mail slot to another mail slot, and whoever has that, the contents in their mail slot, then they can decide what to do with it. They can leave it there. They can sell it, exchange it to somebody else for cash, for a new car, for a new house, for a freaking haircut. But it never leaves anywhere. Never leaves the post office. It just goes from one mail slot to another, even if you're doing it on Lightning. Although if you're doing it on Lightning, it usually stays in the same mail slot, just back and forth. Pew, 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 pew. That was one of our topics in the Digital Homestead course a couple weeks ago. Really important to understand, because the more you can understand that, the better you can build your security. The better you can build your security. Buck52 says, all the side of Bitcoin, my juice and toast. Good morning. How's Bitcoin looking today? I guess we'll get there in a couple minutes. Bitcoin Barber's here. Good morning. Bitcoiners, good morning, Jora. Good morning, Bitcoin Barber. Sats and Sunsets had enough for today before the show even started. He's out of here. The Mighty Duck. The Smith. One of my favorite Kip Moore songs is playing in the background. It's called Live Here to Work. I don't live here to work. Fuck that. I don't live here to work. Mark, Bob, Stewie, the boys are here. Good morning. Scotty says, this is the right place to hang out with Bitcoiners. Yeah, you know that. Are we Bitcoiners or are we just people? People who have the key to some Bitcoin. Who knows? Beans is here. Good morning, Beans. Styles Row, the best name on Rumble. Styles Row. Robert is here. Good morning, Robert. Good to see you, my friend. Prayers for George. Good luck, George. Prayers for George. We got him flying everywhere here. Love to see that. Love to see that. Should I want to learn is messy and dangerous, plumbing and electric. Yeah, I feel the same. Maybe one day, though, when I get a little bit more time. When I have more time. And Bitcoin's going to help me with that. Chuck, what happened here? Chuck buying Membies? Chuck gifted one subscription to 88 sats, and BTC Backpacker was a recipient of that one. Look at that. Chuck comes in hot with a Memby. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck with a Memby for the day. Two days in a row for Chuck. Okay, what was the Chuck, man, you almost had a hat trick yesterday. You almost had a Satoshi hat trick yesterday because you had the membership and you had Fat Zap. So all you were missing was a rant on Rumble. You could have had a Satoshi hat trick. Damn. Should have told you. Should have reminded you. Fanny Packer's here. Good morning, Fanny Packer. Sending all the vibes, all the good vibes, all the love to the family and to George today. Maria 2500. Maria, I think I saw a little zap come through the airwaves. And it was an unrecognizable name. Unrecognizable, but let's see who it was. Let's see who it was. It was from Maria 8K. Maria 8K. I love that one. Maria 8K. So she's known as Maria 2500, Maria 5000, Maria 5K, Maria 7K, and today she's Maria 8K. Thank you, Maria 8K. And somebody also sent in a shot of espresso without any comment or name beside it. Who was that? Who? Got an itchy nose. Thanks for the memby. Backpacker says, praying for George. Amen. Praying for George. Everybody here is. We will only be able to watch live streams if we're Rumble Premium then, or can we watch on Nostr? I don't know. I didn't even check today, honestly. I kind of got pissed off yesterday with it and didn't think about it again. Says it's not working. But it appears to be. It's on there. I don't know how it's on there. I don't know how it's working. Maybe it's because that might be what it is. Because it says it's live on Show. But Show freaking names in Bitcoin, man. Nostr, Zapstream, Show. Looks like Elite Seal is streaming on Show. I don't know. I'm close to giving up. But we won't. 10 today. VHF is here. Says, what's the question? How are you feeling out of 10 today, VHF? He says 7, I guess. Thank you, Jor, for the energy. Of course. Thank you, Jor, and thank you to all in the community here. Paradigm says, feel well soon, George. What a coincidence. There was a guy named George who got his Bitcoin hacked on Ledger too. Ooh. Tough day for George. Tough day for Georges. If there's anybody watching this name George out there, put your helmet on today. Put your helmet on. My phone was near 10. Really? I thought you said it was going lower. Lauren says, I need to create a website for my veterans nonprofit. If we have anyone in our community who does this, let me know. I'd rather work with a Bitcoiner. I need to create a website for my veterans nonprofit. Who does create websites? Get Claude to help you. Be a good test. Get Claude to help you out. That's what I was doing last night. I was playing around with AI. I was playing with Gemini and Obsidian. So I now have Gemini linked up with one of my Obsidian vaults. And so it can directly access all my notes. I'm a whiz. I'm a computer whiz. It feels like it, though, honestly. When you're going through AI and things work, it's a good feeling. Hoping for the best for George. Zap sent. Zap to George, to BTC Backpacker. Good man. Good man, Mark. Forgot about the hat trick. I know. I should have reminded you. That was my fault. Scotty Boy says, I was just watching that. He was rushing, moving Bitcoin, fake ledger app, put in his seed word. So I saw that too. And I was actually going to test it out on the stream today. Let's see what happens here. Do I want to, though? Do I want to? That's a question. Because I was going to Google it. Google Ledger app. No, the post that I saw, it had an ad at the top. Shit, I wish I should have bookmarked that. I can't even say bookmark. I should have bookmarked that. Should have bookmarked it for sure. But I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Ledger, if you're using it, don't use it anymore. Ledger sucks. There's way too much at risk. There's way too much at risk to be using Ledger. That's my thoughts on it. Again, there's going to be a lot of people out there who have ledgers and they don't have any issues. But it's just like, why would you take that risk? Oh, what the hell's going on here? Why am I so small? Somebody also sent, we got a zap from Mark. So thank you, Mark. Mark, Bob, and Stewie with the Mark zap. We got Larry Bird zap from Jake, I'm thinking. And 45, we got 45. Usually there's an 18 around there too, but oh no, sorry. That's for show 45. That's from Sats and Sunsets. Tricked me. And somebody sent in a double shot of espresso. So we have 2 anonymous zaps today. Single shot, double shot. No names, no messages attached. And I think we got one here from David T for 420. One of our favorite numbers for the zaps. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that was David T. So thank you, David T. And whoever sent the other ones, thank you. I'm never sending Bitcoin to my ledger again. VHF, good man. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Because VHF and I have been going back and forth about the ledger for years now. But I'm good to see that. I have some shitcoins trapped on there though. Yeah, and that's fine. That's what I've always said. Is like if you still have shitcoins, just leave them on the ledger. They don't have any value anyways, so who cares? But you should never hold your Bitcoin and your crypto tokens in the same wallet ever. Moravian's here. Moravian, I'm going to guess that double shot of espresso was from you now that I see you in the chat. So I think we got 1 double shot accounted for. We're going to go ahead and say that was from Moravian. But I still don't know who sent the single there. But yeah, I mean, it's really not complicated. And there's a lot of people that overcomplicate things. But like Trezor, Ledger, Tangem, there's a bunch of wallets out there, even this one. I just got my YubiKey. Finally got my YubiKey in the mail. Got to set that baby up. But this one, the One Key Classic. Hold on. Hold up. I got to sneeze, I think.
There's 2 things that keep me bullish no matter what's going on. One, it's a 10x, more than a 10x improvement over its predecessor. I'm a gold holder and I'm a Bitcoin holder. And I can tell you, having used both, Bitcoin's better in every single way. Every single way. History shows that technology, as it evolves and we head to those 10x multiples, it takes over. And the second thing is, look at the quality of people who are Bitcoiners. Look at the diversity of their backgrounds. I'm a tunnel engineer. There's people who are doctors. There's people come from all these like fascinating, interesting backgrounds, and they've all converged on the same thing, being like Bitcoin's like the best thing since sliced bread. You're telling me that all of these smart INTJ engineer types, they're all dumb and idiots? Like, no. The most bullish thing about Bitcoin is the people who get attracted to it. I'm not betting against those people. So many Bitcoiners came up and grew up in an era where the world hated Bitcoin. Every headline was negative. Every government didn't like it. It's getting banned. It's getting shut down. And yet we still formed enough conviction to be like, no way. I'm putting my whole life savings in this thing. We all formed a consensus that this thing kicks ass independently, whilst everyone was telling us that we were dead wrong, and we stuck to our guns. I'm sorry. I'm not betting against those people. They get it.
Who would? Who would bet against those people? Sure as shit, not me. I'm betting on those people. I'm betting on those freaking people. Well, we got some to the guy who doesn't like the me drinking on the streams. How's this for some extra ASMR? Orange today. Orange salt. Actually, this is a very, very underrated flavor. Tastes like Sunny D. Sunny D with no sugar and a little more salty than Sunny D. Cure me, would you? All right, what was I talking about? Well, the One Key. Yeah, they sent me this. They sent me to test it out, and I looked at the front of it, and it says crypto hardware wallet, and I haven't done much with it since. But point is, you can use something like this to store your cryptos on. If you got altcoins, if you got shit coins, whatever you got, use something like this or a ledger. Again, they really don't have any value anyways, so who cares? But you want to keep your Bitcoin on something real. And to me anyways, Cold Card is the only option for that. Most expensive one, yes. Actually, I think the Passport's more expensive. I was looking at the Passport in Prague. They're pretty good. They're pretty good devices, but they're not as good as the Cold Card. They're just not. They're just not. Jerry loves freedom. JLF with a silent I. Frick, my nose is running now. What's Jerry got to say today? $1 million Bitcoin is coming sooner than you think. $1 will get you 100 sats. Still a great deal. Today you can get $15.60 for $1. These are the good old days. It's funny because we started the show today with this banner, but I actually had this one on. I had this one on there first, and then I switched last minute, which was just simply this. These are the good old days. Good signal there, Jerry. The universe put those two together for us today. Jerry says these are the good old days, and I was seconds away from putting this on the screen today to start the show, which is funny too, because I never put it on there at the start of the show, but for some reason this morning I had the idea to put on these are the good old days. Okay, so here's the plan. Bitcoin is stuck. No, Bitcoin's on freaking sale, man. That's what Bitcoin is. Oh yeah, what should I do here? What should I do here? Cold Card Q is the GOAT. Truth. Okay, hang on. Kind of annoying. We had this issue last summer too, actually. Certain weeks of the summer really bother my allergies. And actually, I was taking allergy pills this summer, but I thought I was over it, but I wasn't. I want to know where the rednecks went to. Because before we went to Prague, we had like 70 people over on Rumble. And these last couple of days, there's been about half of that. So where did everybody go? That's the question. Where did everybody go? Man, a guy takes 1 week off. Oh, Lucky's out in the yard. Guy takes 1 week off and everybody disappears. What's with that? Not everybody. Half the people. Look at Lucky. Just freaking sitting in the middle of the yard. Like what? Got to be one of the weirdest cats out there, but also the coolest cat, I would say. The coolest cat, the toughest cat. VHF says, I'm going to leave the sats on exchange for a while until I'm sure about a cold storage option that has proven to be good. Okay. Yeah, don't trust me. BTC Backpacker says, currently 1 penny gets you 15 Satoshis. Deal of a lifetime. Amen. Amen to that. Scotty boy. Okay. Adam is here. Adam, Lori, sweating, smiling together. Adam, happy belated birthday, my friend. I was waiting for you to come on the stream yesterday, but you never appeared. But it was Adam's birthday yesterday. So hopefully you had a good birthday, my friend. Hopefully you had a great B-day. Oh, yeah. Let's check on the pool. Let's get to the pool. Get your swim trunks on, your bikinis, your Borat thong, whatever you got. We're heading to the pool. Cold Card gets a lot of love, so it's a front runner. It's the best one. Their Passport, usually I say there is no second best, but Passport's honestly a pretty good option. It's expensive. Like the new Passports are freaking expensive. I think they said it was $399 USD. It's pretty steep. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's got a nice touchscreen. It looks a little more expensive than the cold card, but I would still trust the cold card over anything, and I do. Okay, we're at the block height today of 954, so we crossed another 1,000 blocks. 954,260 is the time in Bitcoin today. What a time to be alive. SBI crypto again. I feel like last time we looked at the mempool, SBI crypto won the last block too. What the hell's with that? Adam says he worked in stack sats. Good man. Good man. Yeah, guys don't care about their birthdays as much as women do. Women take their birthdays a little bit too far sometimes. It's like, are you really that deprived of attention that you need to make a big deal of the day you were born? But you still like acknowledging. People like feeling good for a day. And maybe that's just a sign of the times that people are so deprived of, any sort of connection from people that they just bask in the happy birthday wishes. But it's another year. It should be celebrated, not feared. It should be celebrated. The fact that you got to live another year, heckin' right. Heckin' right. Okay, so we got SBI crypto with the last block here. The difficulty adjustment today. Wow, we're catching up. Look at that. We're 30 blocks ahead. The blocks are coming in hot. Not really hot, but, hotter than they've been. We had a nice little run here. 40 minutes ago, 39 minutes ago, 37 minutes ago, and 36 minutes ago. So we had 4 blocks in 4 minutes there. That helps. So it looks like some of the world's energy is being reallocated to the Bitcoin network again. After 2 weeks off, we had a downwards adjustment of 10.09%. But we're making some ground. We're making some frickin' ground here. Another one. Boom. 4.73% live on the air. It just went up. But we got lots of time to go. So the difficulty adjustment, basically what it does is it wants to keep the blocks coming in on average every 10 minutes. That's the purpose of the difficulty adjustment. That's its main mission in life. The difficulty adjustment is to make sure that the blocks are coming in on average every 10 minutes. So when the blocks are coming in at 9.6 minutes on average, that means what? If the target is 10 minutes and the average for this difficulty adjustment period is 9.6, that means that the blocks are coming in a little bit too fast. So what happens then? The difficulty adjustment says, hey, we need to make it harder for the miners so that the blocks slow down a little bit here. So that's what these changes in percentages do. When there's too many blocks coming in too quickly, difficulty adjustment goes up because they want to make it harder for the miners to find blocks, to slow things down a little bit. And then the flip side of things, like what happened last week, is that the miners were taking too long to find the blocks. So the difficulty adjustment went down to make it easier for the miners to find the blocks to catch back up to our target time of 10 minutes. So that's what the difficulty adjustment does. The reason why it's so important is because we have this supply schedule, which I'm sure everybody has seen before, where it says epoch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down to 33. And it says how much total supply and the approximate year that will be the supply. So the only way that we can reliably depend on that, those estimates, I guess you'd say, they're not really estimates, but the supply schedule, the only way we can reasonably rely on that is knowing that the blocks are going to come in every 10 minutes. So that's what the difficulty adjustment does. It keeps us on track. And the main part of that, though, that means that no matter how much energy we put into the Bitcoin network, no matter how many people want Bitcoin, how much demand there is for Bitcoin, we can't go into the future and take them. Very important. That's Bitcoin's whole value proposition in terms of when you hear people say Bitcoin will go up forever, it's because of that. It's because as the demand increases, we cannot change the supply. And so when you have more people fighting over the scarce amount of units called Satoshis, the price goes like this. When there's more people fighting for the same amount of things, the price of those things go up. And in this case, we're talking about Satoshis. And when I say price, I mean the value of those Satoshis and the purchasing power that you will have in the future for those Satoshis. So that's what the difficulty adjustment does. And that's why the difficulty adjustment is so important in Bitcoin. And when you wrap your head around that, you understand that there's no other thing on this planet that is the case for. If we want more bread, we can make more bread. If there's enough demand, if there's enough people that want bread, we can make more bread. If there's enough scooters, if there's enough demand for scooters, we can make more scooters. If there's enough gold, if people want gold, if there's enough demand for gold, we can find more gold. There's hundreds of thousands of tons of gold out there, underground, in the oceans, in the mountains, in space. So we could find more of it, but Bitcoin is the only thing that you cannot do that with. And so that's what makes Bitcoin so unique and so different than literally anything else that exists on this planet. Important to know. Maybe we'll just hang out on the little screen today. Here's my presentation for you today. As you can see, things are black. Things are looking pretty dark. Actually, you know what? Speaking of that, speaking of black, you know, I watched, I unfortunately didn't get to catch Jerry's stream last night, but I did want to give a big shout out to Jerry, man. I left a comment on the video, but it takes balls. It takes a lot of balls to do it, to do what Jerry did. And he's done it before. He talks about this stuff all the time, but he went on went scorched earth last night. And I was fired up, even at the title here. I want people to go back and watch this video. If you got some time today, it's only 37 minutes long, but man, Jerry went absolutely scorched earth. And I have a lot of respect for that. Not like going scorched earth, but like talking about these uncomfortable topics. And basically the point that Jerry was trying to make, I'm not going to give it away, but he was basically saying that that not all black people are created equal, and he's not a fan of some of them and their actions. And you know, actually yesterday during the show, we talked about black and white and having more nuance in life, finding the gray areas of life, which is desperately needed in these times because everybody seems very black or white. And in this case, we are talking skin colors. But I'm talking about like one end of the scale or the other, and that's it. So it's important to find nuance. It's important to look at the gray areas. And I think we could all strive to do that a little bit more. But Jerry's video here yesterday with a title like that, there was no chance I wasn't watching that video. But a lot of respect for my guy, Jerry, for putting out this video and this message to the world. Because we need more of this, man. We need a lot more of this. And big props to Jerry for putting that out there. So I just shared the link to that in the chat. Was that Terry last night? Yeah, I guess that would have been Terry. Or Barry. Larry. David T says, pretty crazy difficulty adjustment working at this scale when Satoshi started with just one computer. That's what I mean. But also at the same time, like, you know, this is another topic we've discussed, but it's just incredible to me that network's just been working for 17 and a half years. No company, no HR department, no research and development. Do you know why? Because it's a protocol. Because it's based on mathematics. And it's based on real world energy. It's based on physics and the laws of the universe, the laws of thermodynamics. That's what it's all based on. And when your whole protocol is based around nature, then it just works. So yeah, I mean, it is freaking crazy, but at the same time, it's just math, right? Midwest Picker, good morning. What's bad about Ledger? What's good about Ledger? That's probably where you want to start. What's good about Ledger other than it's cheap and they have a lot of ads everywhere? That would be the only two things that I would recommend about a ledger. And you might say, well, George, it's pretty easy to use. Yeah, well, what happens when things are easy? When things are convenient, they're not secure. When things are easy, they're not secure. And I would argue that the cold card itself is just as easy to set up than the ledger is. So what's good about the ledger? The price, and people know it. That's about it. If you just put your Bitcoin on it and just transact between you and your own wallets, there's no problem unless you start switching coins on it. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I would never put any Bitcoin on a ledger. Zero Satoshis I would trust on a ledger. In Bitcoin we trust, amen. Praetorian's here, look at this. Our guy Praetorian, the Guardian, listening in the background. Shout out to Praetorian today. Working in the foundry today. What about Trezor Safe 7 Bitcoin only? Is that a good? I mean, it's okay. It's better. I would say that's better than the ledger. I like Trezor. Trezor was the very first hardware wallet. I still have a problem with plugging your private keys into a computer. That's my biggest thing. And again, you might say, well, yeah, it's safe. It's proven to be safe. Maybe, but I just don't trust it. Bitcoin's way too valuable to be just hoping for the best. Okay, I want to watch this video here. Actually, we got to get to the time chain here quickly. Let's check on the time chain. If you have Bitcoin, if you're a serious Bitcoiner, there is no other answer than cold card to me. And I get it. People have the passports. People have Jades. They're okay. They're all right. They're safe. I would say that you should be eventually moving it to a cold card, though. That's what I would say. If you understand what you're holding here, the cold card is the only thing that makes sense in my mind. That's just strictly my opinion. We are on the Epoch V. V for Visionaries. V for Vendetta. V for Victory. V for Epoch 5. We are currently at the supply of 20.04 million. That's how many Bitcoin have been mined in the first 17.5 years. 20.04 million, which is 95.45%, which means there's only 4.55% left for the next 114 years. Frick me. We hit another block here. 954264 is the updated version of that. Via BTC was the winner. So for their troubles, for securing the network, for allocating energy to the Bitcoin network, they got paid. They got paid the subsidy of 3.125, which is the fixed amount per Epoch V. Epoch VI, that will reduce by half. That's how it works. And the transaction fees, they didn't get a whole lot. They got less than 1 million sats for their transaction fees. But they still got the total reward of 3.1347. The exchange rate today, if you got $1 kicking around, you can get yourself 1,570 Satoshis. 1 unit of illusion, 1 unit of shit, 1 unit of trash, 1 unit of the worst money in human history. You can trade that for 1,570 units of reality, of freedom, units of sovereignty, units of the best money that we've ever had, that we've ever known. We might have better in the future at some point. Who knows? I don't know. But for now, this is the best money we've ever had. So we call that one right there the deal of a lifetime. So yesterday we spent a lot of time talking about some deep subjects, and I figured this would be the perfect follow-up to that. And we're going to listen to about 5 minutes of this book. It ties in very well with what we were talking about yesterday. Let's see if I can put on subtitles for the people out there. There we go. Okay, so this is all, it's about 10 seconds early, but we're going to listen to about 5, 6, 7 minutes of this. And it's talking about memory, it's talking about vision, it's touching on some of the topics we talked about yesterday, but also a very interesting idea of goals. of your goals and how maybe the way you're thinking about it isn't the right way to do it. So let's listen to this and then we'll discuss.
Of our states of consciousness as we travel through eternal duration, and it does not exist where no consciousness exists in which the illusion can be produced, but lies asleep. H.P. Blavatsky. The future influences the present just as much as the past. Nietzsche. The first time you do something is a journey of discovery. You take in the details and learn many new things. At this point, there are no labels and memories to enable you to prejudge this new experience. Learning is at its highest. The 100th time you do it is often very different. For most people, repetition brings about unconsciousness. Most people do and see things that occur most often in their lives in an unconscious and unaware state. Because they have seen or done something else, they turn to relying on their memories of it and labels about it that they built in their minds the first time. Learning and discovery drops to zero. Memories of past experiences take over. What good does it serve you to live today based on your memory of it yesterday? You miss the gift of the present moment totally. In your business or work, do you take an absolutely fresh look at your work, workmates, and customers each new day, or do you go by how you know them in the past? Everything changes, and using memory keeps you from seeing that change, seeing things as they truly are. Try to forget everything about what you are looking at, and you will discover a whole new world, and you will grow a whole lot faster, grow your wealth and self a whole lot quicker. Think about it. It is quite often that a stranger will compliment your workmate or spouse over something that you totally miss every.
Oh yeah, I wanted to jump in there because we just talked about memory there and the importance of basically taking a blank slate every day, because that's, we talked about the Kanye West quote yesterday, talking about visionaries and how in order to be a visionary, you simply have to use your eyes instead of your memory and your ears. So in this case, the author here is talking about memory and how that can take away from the present. And there were some disagreements over the quote yesterday that Kanye had, but one of the parts he was talking about is that's what trips people up is their memory, because they start thinking about things from a different lens other than what's actually happening right in front of them. And so that's basically what the author said there is like when people carry their memories into each day, then you look at the world from a different lens than you would if you just saw it as a blank slate. And so memory, I think, and relying on your memory to make decisions, obviously, there's good and bad of this. And just like we talked about yesterday, there's nuance with it. It's not just don't ever think about the past and don't ever learn your lessons. That's not the case. That's not what the author's saying here. I don't think anyways. But it's basically putting aside your preconceived notions of anything and you see the world through a much different lens. Instead of relying on your memory to make your judgments and decisions in the future, you take a look at what's right in front of you using your eyes.
Day, because you do not look at them as if they were totally new to you. Memory has its place, but many people overuse it, often in an unbeneficial way. Decide right now to face every experience anew by choosing to forget that you have ever faced it before. Decide not to anticipate a specific appearance or behavior, an anticipation based on your memory and emotions. Practice detachment of outcome, but have certainty of your choices and intention, and you will find a world that has been hiding from you all along, right in front of your eyes all along. Choose happiness, present moment living, and joy at all times. Thank the present moment for all it brings you in enjoyable experiences and in its opportunities to see yourself as you were before and to grow to an even greater self. Bring into the present moment your awareness, consciousness, thoughts, and looking. Life and all your opportunities to move forward are in the present, the ever-present moment of now, here. Do not throw yourself forward into where you wish to be all day long. Imagination about the future.
Okay, so this is kind of the point this is one of the points I wanted to discuss here today, especially as it relates to Bitcoin. And I think all of us have been guilty of this. Some of us are probably still today, but wishing for thinking about the future and wishing that the price of Bitcoin would be this, and that we would suddenly have all that we need and wanted because the Bitcoin price went up. And I think that a lot of people are going to miss out on a lot of their life wishing the Bitcoin price would be higher. So this next section here, it's about 2 or 3 minutes long, but it talks about all that we have is like this exact second right now. And so basically when you spend your attention, your thoughts, and your energy on thinking into the future, you rob yourself of the only thing that you have, which is this second right now. And again, I think that a lot of Bitcoiners are guilty of that, of thinking too far into the future. The first community that we had here was called Living in the Future. And it's not that we were like really wanting to be in the future. Instead, we were just already seeing the world through a lens of what we think was going to happen in terms of one sat equaling $1. That was the thesis there. That was the world that we were living in. And the reason for that is because then we better understood the value of the Satoshis. And I think that kind of a mindset really helped in terms of allocating and making decisions to try to accumulate more, what would we call it yesterday? Network equity, Satoshis. But so yeah, this next couple minutes is talking about the importance of being where you are and not wishing for something in the future, because you rob yourself of what you have right in front of you here, which really, when you think about it, actually, I've been through this book 2.5 times now. So it's 7 hours long, but I'm going to read this book or listen to this book as many times as I can in 2026. Because there's just so much good information in here. But anyways, I really like this part, and I thought it was very applicable to the conversations we've been having for the last couple of days here. So this is talking about the present and having deadlines on things or goals into the future. So let's just listen to what the author says about it.
Thoughts and looking. Life and all your opportunities to move forward are in the present, the ever-present moment of now, here. Do not throw yourself forward into where you wish to be all day long. Imagination about the future is great, for it is what you use to create your future. But the present has great value. Only through acting and living in the present can you get to the future. Do not spend all day daydreaming about a future time, saying if only, mentally escaping your present and dwelling in an imaginary tomorrow, going on about the whole day in a dreamlike state, being only half aware and conscious of the details going on in your day. These things actually slow you down on your trip to a better tomorrow. Just as it is necessary that you set future goals, it is necessary that you embrace and experience the present and act in it consciously and with awareness. If you wish to progress, remember, the universe can only use the present moment to send you clues, people, events, and opportunities to advance. It cannot use the imaginary future in your head. Instead of chasing a better future by throwing your consciousness into the future, bring it back to the present and let the future chase it there. Now. Here. The wheels of time are mysterious. Time is a concept of mind. Without mind, there is no concept of time. Annihilate the mind. You will go beyond time. You will enter the realm of timeless. You will live in the eternal. Sivananda. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Buddha. BC 568 to 488. Be careful how you set deadlines for yourself. Time does not exist as an absolute. Quantum physics, our spirituality, and our understanding of eternity all tell us that the only time that truly exists is now, and the only place is here, now. For example, imagine that you had a goal of becoming a millionaire or a billionaire in a year. Think about this. Why did you choose 1 year? It is a very arbitrary date or deadline. It is a mere grab at a date. It is possible that the source can create that millionaire or billionaire outcome in an instant. Nothing is difficult for the source, God. So why set a random date for the accomplishment of what can be accomplished in the blink of an eye, or at a time that is best suited for you that you may not have thought of right now? Making deadlines for yourself also introduces fear and doubt. Will you make it by that date? And often actually slows you down. What if you could have done it a lot sooner, but your mind keeps looking at that faraway date? It also makes detachment difficult, which is crucial for letting the infinite and unpredictable organizing power of the source work optimally for you. On the other hand, saying, "One day I will be a millionaire or billionaire," is no good at all. It is even worse. Instead, think of now as the only time. See it and know it to be the only real time. I am now a millionaire. Now I am. That is how you should always think, act, speak, and feel about everything. When people ask you when, say soon. Jesus always said soon when asked when by anyone. Soon fits a whole lot better in the now, here, scheme of things than setting a specific date. In your mind, it's all now, becoming, has always been. Remember, even quantum physics proves to you that time is not what you think it is. When you say, "I am a millionaire now," and the physical evidence around you does not show that, this does not mean that you are lying to yourself. Indeed, the moment of now holds all existence in all possibilities, all at one time, including you being wealthy. That statement is true. It is the eyes that lie. Einstein once said that no matter how persistent the illusion of time may be, the illusion of past, present, and future, it is still an illusion. Have patience with the unfolding of things. If you rush or force them, you interfere and slow them down. Nature is perfect. If you wish for faster results, the right way to shorten time is raising your certainty, increasing the clarity of your imagination, being of one mind. Do not keep changing your mind, concentrating, and most importantly, raise your awareness from the level of your conscious only to that of your conscious, subconscious, and superconscious mind and self. Most people are unaware of their subconscious and superconscious selves. If you perfect awareness, imagination, faith, certainty, and clarity, you can create results instantly. You are now beginning, and you will get better as time goes by. Just be deliberate in these things and choose to be more aware and certain, and it will happen. But do not be impatient, because that throws you into a state of wanting, and this delays results even further.
Oh yeah, I think we got to listen to that part again. That was wow. Do not keep changing your mind. Okay, let me see where that started. Right here.
And slow them down. Nature is perfect. If you wish for faster results, the right way to shorten time is raising your certainty, increasing the clarity of your imagination, being of one mind. Do not keep changing your mind, concentrating, and most importantly, raise your awareness from the level of your conscious only to that of your conscious, subconscious, and superconscious mind and self. Most people are unaware of their subconscious and superconscious selves. If you perfect awareness, imagination, faith, certainty, and clarity, you can create results instantly. You are now beginning, and you will get better as time goes by. Just be deliberate in these things and choose to be more aware and certain, and it will happen. But do not be impatient, because that throws you into a state of wanting, and this delays results even further.
How freaking good is that? Oh my God. Like I said, this is my favorite book. I've been asked that question a lot through the years. What's your favorite book? And I can safely say it's this one. I absolutely love the mentality in this. And you know, it's kind of like taking everything that we've been thinking about for this last year, because this channel itself and the live streams have really kind of shifted from, you know, trying to explain Bitcoin to people to like looking above that, thinking deeper than that, asking questions. And you know, it kind of takes everything we've been thinking about and talking about and doing thought experiments over, and ties it into like one book. And as you could tell from that short clip there, that it's pretty woo-woo. Like I've listened to the section on quantum physics probably like 10 times, and I still don't really truly wrap my head around it yet, but I will. I absolutely will. And I have a much better hang of it. And I'm sure if somebody asked me some questions on it, my subconscious mind would kick in and say, this is what it is. You know, whether that's right or wrong, I would have some sort of information, which I wouldn't have had before discovering this book. But some great lessons in there, I think. And it's, you know, myself personally, it really resonated with me because I have this goal card that I have that I look at every day, and it has the total amount of Bitcoin that I think that I will get, that I desire to have. And you know, the point that they made there is like, why use that date? What's the significance about that date? And also it got me thinking of like, why the amount too? What's the significance of this, especially since I don't know what this amount of Bitcoin will be worth in the future? So, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. And again, this is kind of another episode today where I'm just thinking out loud, because I can kind of see both sides of the story of like, it's important to have specific goals so you can kind of work your way to that direction. But maybe being that specific isn't a good thing, because as the author said there, what's the significance of that date? What if you could do it before that? Are you putting limits on yourself? Are you making yourself more stressed out and anxious, which is kind of taken away from other parts of your life? I don't know. I would actually lean towards that. It just makes more sense to me. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. And I see a comment here from Senior Gringo Poppy, which kind of ties into this a little bit. He said, what if Bitcoin never goes over 100 again? Then what's the point? Just holding a stable coin at that point. So, I mean, ask yourself the question of like, if Bitcoin hits 100K, or if it goes to 150K, what is that going to change in your life? What's going to be the difference there if it goes to 200K? Like, what is it that you're hoping to get from that? Are you going to sell it? Or if it goes to 150K from 100, are you going to cash out and go back to fiat land? Like that's the disconnect there. And I think that the more things you have about that of like targets or future points, like 100K or 150K or whatever it is, it's like, why? What's going to make a difference? And all the time you spent wishing that Bitcoin would be 100K or 150K or whatever the target is that you're looking for, you just wasted. You wasted it. And we started the show saying that money is an illusion. Money is basically just time and energy in abstract form. So if that's what you want, if money is time and energy in an abstract form, do you really want more money? Or do you want more time? And think about, when you think about it that way, then you spent all these years wishing for something in the future, 100K, 150K, 200K. You wasted all that time, which is really what you wanted to begin with. That's the fucking crazy part about the whole thing. And it kind of takes like a complete mind reset to really understand that, really understand what I just said there. So all those days, all those moments that you spent thinking about Bitcoin at 100K or wishing that Bitcoin was this price in the future, you wasted all that time. And what is money? What is Bitcoin? It's a representation of time. Do you see like the paradox there? Like the irony of that? That's what I mean. Like it's deep to think about. But I think once you unlock that in your head, and that's really the whole point of this book. The book says infinite wealth and abundance in the here and now. So it's not like strategies of what investments you should be making and what, you know, how to set better goals and all these things. It's like how to change your thoughts so that it really doesn't matter what's going on in the external world. It's all up here anyways. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. What is money? Because if money means nothing, then the homeless are rich. No, money doesn't mean nothing. Money is a representation of time and energy in an abstract form. And if you think about it very simply, like if I cut your grass and you paid me $100 to do it, why did you pay me $100 to do it? Because in that hour that it took me to cut your lawn, you were doing something else. You were buying time. So because I did that for you, that $100 that you sent me was a representation of the time and energy that I took to mow your lawn. So the point is, I guess the moral of the story here is that the more of your time, the more of your here and now, your present moment that you spend thinking about things in the past or wishing for things in the future, the more you rob yourself of what you're really after anyways, which is time. It's kind of fucked up. But that's why I'm suggesting, like I told you, this audiobook's 7 hours long. I've listened to it fully twice now, but there's specific parts that I've listened to over and over again, like the quantum part that I'm trying to understand and wrap my head around. So then when you think about it, like if you just simply enjoyed where you were right now, instead of wishing for something in the future, you would actually be much more wealthy overall. If time is money and you enjoyed the time that you have now right in front of you, you would be much more wealthy than hoping for something, regardless of what the Bitcoin price does. Money is just a language of value to exchange with your fellow man. It is. That's what it is. But it's also time. It's a representation of time. And so really, again, when you think about it, like what do people want? They don't care about a fucking number on a screen. What does that do for you? Your bank account, the number in your Sparrow wallet, what does that do for you? Well, you could use it. You could use it to pay for the things that you need. And therefore, you're essentially buying yourself time. Or if you have enough money or Bitcoin, then you have more time. You don't have to work anymore. So you have more time. That's what you want. That's what everybody wants. But again, you have time right now. And so the more time you spend hoping for something and wishing for something in the future, the more you're stealing yourself right now of the thing that you really want. You know what I mean? Because if you're thinking about something in the future or reliving something from the past, you're stealing from yourself in this moment, which is time. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, I missed a lot of comments here. Scotty says, I have no money, but I'm enjoying the time in the afternoon and evening with my family. Scotty has no money, he says. You said a date sooner because sooner is better than later. We aren't getting any younger. No, that's fair. I agree. I agree with you, but I think the point that the author's trying to make with this concept is that, let's say that I'll give you my example. Let's say I want X amount of Bitcoin by the year that I have on my card here, the specific date and year that I have, which is in 2035. So in 10 years from now. But like, why that date? I guess is the question. Why that date? And if you don't really know the answer to that, then the universe, I mean, if you subscribe to the theory that he mentioned God in there, and God is basically the creator of the universe, whoever you want to call that. And the quantum physics aspect of it, of the laws of the universe, how things work. But it's like, why that date? Why not 2033? Did I just waste 2 years of my life because I thought I could get there in 10 years versus when I really could have done it in 7 years? And then I just lost 3 years worth of time. I guess that's the point. Why not just use affirmations like large sums of money flows to me easily and effortlessly daily without effort, and boom, millions fall from the sky into your yard? Yeah, I mean, it's you could subscribe to this stuff or you don't. I mean, it's there was many points in my life where I thought all this stuff was just kind of bullshit too. But when you think about it at a surface level, that does sound stupid. But when you look at it from a much different lens and a much deeper lens, like your subconscious mind and really understanding the here and now, then you can kind of make that decision, that choice right now. It's like we say a lot on the show is like, you get to decide what kind of day are you going to have today? Because a lot of how people's days are spent are stories that they tell themselves based on their memories or their fear and anxiety about what's coming next. And so the point, I guess, is just to understand that the time is really what you want, and time is what you have in this exact moment. So, kind of joking about the affirmations and stuff like that. Like, that's not what I'm saying here, really. Do I believe in that? I don't know. But I think if we review that last part there again, which is not changing your mind, which means that you need to be pretty clear of like what the future that you want to create is. I think that's the one thing when you're thinking into the future, and that's the point that the author made there, is that you get to design your own future. Why? Because you wake every day and you get to decide what the hell you're going to do that day. And that's what essentially ends up creating your future. So you get to design that. And I think that if you can be very clear about it with clarity about what you want to build your future, then you just do it. Then you unconsciously or subconsciously make decisions throughout the day that lead you towards that future. And I think that just saying things, really what that does, like affirmations, like there's no grand master out there listening to what you're saying and giving you that. Right. And I think that that's what people think at like a very surface level. But like from my perspective of it is the more you say things like that, the more repetition you have, the more clear and the more clarity you have. And then what that does is it ingrains something into your subconscious saying, that's what I want the future to look like. And then you essentially start making decisions based on your subconscious that lead you toward that future. So to kind of make a joke of it, I mean, again, at a surface level, it does sound stupid, but people think that you're saying these things out loud so that somebody out there hears you say it and they give you that. That's not the case. That's not the case. From my perspective, anyways. And again, what the hell do I know? This is just, it makes sense in my head. Should we put all the Bitcoin on one cold card or more cold cards? I mean, I would start with one personally. You eventually want to get into a multi-sig, which is at least a 2 of 3 with 3 different devices and 3 different locations. And that takes a lot of risk away from you. Multi-sig, if you do it properly and if you back it up properly and you know what you're doing, it pretty much like, I would say 100x is your security. So, I mean, if you're going to be ordering one cold card, I would probably get 3. But I would start with one. I would learn how to use that. And then I would maybe get another one or use your other one, move some funds onto that one. But then eventually you want to have a multi-sig. That's kind of like the end goal of a Bitcoiner, is to have a multi-sig. The whole quantum leap thingy. Yeah, I mean, that's frick. Quantum's a whole... I don't want to get into quantum stuff because, like I said, I've listened to the part of this book around quantum like 10 times at least, and it's still... I just wish that we would have been taught this shit as kids. That's what I wish, because I feel like I wasted a lot of my life not knowing this stuff, and my life would be a lot different. And it's funny because when you listen to like professional athletes, they all talk in this kind of language, and most people just kind of like write it off as what the hell does that mean? But like, it's all kind of based around these same principles. And I think in order to get to that level of anything, you have to have a different kind of mindset than the average person, the person who didn't get to that point. So if you're talking about like NBA or NHL or professional golf, like that's, in my mind, that's really the difference. Because there's a lot of people out there who have a lot of skill and a lot of talent, and they work their ass off. But I really think that the difference between the amateur and the professional is the mindset. I believe that. I really do. Because you see so many talented people out there who put in the reps, who put in the proof of work, but they just can't get to that last stage. And I really think that it's a lot of their thoughts and their approach that holds them back. Getting one bit scared of Ledger now. Well, I think you should be. Ledger's just absolute junk. It's junk. I can't believe most of the popular altcoins are 90% down. Used to be huge. Yeah, but when you understand like the difference between the altcoins and Bitcoin, it makes sense that they're probably way overvalued right now in Bitcoin terms. Everything's overvalued right now in Bitcoin terms. Houses, SpaceX shares, gold, altcoins for sure. Everything's very overvalued in Bitcoin terms. And when Bitcoin reprices things, that essentially means that there's more demand for Bitcoin. There's more people who understand what Bitcoin is and why it's so valuable. That's what happens in the repricing of Bitcoin. And there's more and more people figuring out this stuff every day. So that's, as more people figure it out, Bitcoin will continue to reprice. People say Bitcoin price goes up, but really what Bitcoin's doing is it's remeasuring things. It's saying, hey, I mean, perfect example of this. How do you find the top asset list? No. Oh, right. Yeah, right here. So look at this. I mean, just think about it this way. This is a very easy way to understand what I'm saying here. Look at, where's Bitcoin here? 16. So the total market cap, this number right here, 1.267 trillion. That's the market cap. So what the market cap is basically the current exchange rate of Bitcoin. This is using US dollars. That's the current exchange rate. So that means that you need 63,185 US dollars to purchase one Bitcoin today. And what the market cap is it's this price of one Bitcoin times the total number of Bitcoin, which we looked at on the time chain calendar here, which at this moment is 20.04 million approximately. So 63,185 times 20.04 million gets you this number of 1.67 trillion. So if you subscribe to the theory that Bitcoin will one day be the unit of measurement, which I do personally, because it makes a whole lot of sense to know how many units of the supply there is. Like currently, if you think about the unit of measurement currently for the world, it's US dollars. And the big problem with that is that we have no idea how many units exist. We have an idea, like they tell us that there's X amount of US dollars in circulation, but we can't verify that. And how many US dollars have been created and printed that we're completely unaware of? They lie about everything. You think that they're really telling you the truth about the monetary supply? Doubt it. When was the last time the Federal Reserve was audited? Never. The correct answer to that is never. 1913? 123 years. There's never been one audit of the Federal Reserve. And you're trusting that the numbers that they have are accurate? They don't even claim to know. But with Bitcoin, you know the exact amount of supply that's in circulation right now. And so in order to have an accurate measurement, unit of measurement, you have to know the bottom number, the denominator. So you can fairly price and value everything else. And why I think Bitcoin will become the unit of measurement is because nobody can change the supply. It's not like there's a Jerome Powell or whoever the new guy is there, Kevin Walsh. There's no person that says, hey, we're going to increase the supply. We're going to decrease the supply because the economy's doing this. There isn't. Nobody has the ability to change that. So that to me is a very powerful unit of measurement. So what that means is Bitcoin shouldn't be compared to any of these things. Because what Bitcoin's going to do is it's going to replace, you see this number right here? It says 63,185. That's because the US dollar is the current unit of measurement. But Bitcoin, to me, and a lot of people agree with this, is that Bitcoin eventually will become the unit of measurement, which it's going to replace the US dollar in this way. And so then it doesn't matter. There's no comparison here. So what the world is telling you right now is that SpaceX, a company, is worth almost double the amount of Bitcoin is. So that doesn't make any sense, because if we're going to measure things in satoshis, if Bitcoin is going to become the new unit of measurement, how could one company be double the market cap of the thing that we're measuring it with? It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. But again, as we move forward here, as time goes on and more people figure this out, that's when Bitcoin will continue to reprice things. So there will be a day here, Bitcoin's not going to go to number one. At the end of this, Bitcoin isn't going to be number one. You notice how US dollars isn't number one here? So Bitcoin will be off of this chart because you cannot compare these things. They're much different. So Bitcoin will be completely removed from this chart here. We're just kind of in the middle of the transition. It just goes to show how early we are right now. But at some point here, gold will probably be still number one. But instead of the price being US dollars, it'll be in satoshis. And if you can kind of wrap your head around what that means, if you can wrap your head around what that means, you see how big of a discount you can trade your units of dollars, your units of illusion, for satoshis, units of reality. And that's what it is. That's why I say Bitcoin is reality, because it's the real measuring stick. Whatever we see here, these numbers here, these fiat numbers, the US dollar values, it's all fake. It's all fake because we have no idea how many of those units exist. Let's say just as an example, let's say that there was double the amount of units that we were told, right? Because again, 123 years, the Federal Reserve, the entity who's responsible for creating these units we call dollars, they've never been audited. So we have no idea how many US dollars actually exist. So what if there was double the amount of supply? What if they lied to us, or triple the amount of supply? Well, then this number wouldn't be this. This number wouldn't be 4,262. It would actually be 8,400 if there was double the amount of units of dollars, which there could be. There could be 10x. We don't know. That's the whole point. That's why the US dollar sucks as a unit of measurement, because we have no idea how many units exist. And so how do you accurately price or value things when you understand that? You can't. That's why we say it's an illusion. And when people hear that at a surface level, they're like, well, it's not an illusion because I just bought gas with dollars. But you have to understand it at a deeper level than that. And so again, as this goes from whatever this market cap is here, add all these market caps up, divided by 21 million or 2.1 quadrillion satoshis, and that's the real value. So what that's saying is that all of these things here are extremely overvalued right now. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say, including this comment here. I can't believe most of the popular altcoins are down 90%. I'm telling you that they're still incredibly overvalued in Bitcoin terms. So that's, if you can wrap your head around that, then that changes your whole perception of what Bitcoin really is. You're not concerned what the price is. And then so you play it out even further and you say, okay, if Bitcoin is the unit of measurement, then again, going back to what we talked about the last couple of days, your percentage of the ownership, your percentage of the network, the amount of sats that you have, that's your total purchasing power. So as all these prices come down, everything gets repriced. The price of Bitcoin isn't going up. The value of everything else is coming down. And so the Satoshis that you hold today, assuming that this plays out, assuming, like Jeff Booth says, assuming Bitcoin stays decentralized and secure, this will mathematically happen. So then you understand how valuable these Satoshis are. And the whole fiat price, the 63K, whatever the hell it is today, that's why it's an illusion, because it's meaningless. We'll have a much more clear version of what these Satoshis are actually worth when more people understand this. But, you know, we're a ways away from that still. And I told the show today, Bitcoiners will be very wealthy soon. So I don't know when, and I don't think it's a worthwhile exercise to try to guess when. But mathematically speaking, this will happen soon. As more and more people figure this out, that's how it plays out. Anyways, man, we got some deep topics here. I like this. This is the shit that I live for, man. You know, people, speaking of time, people spend so much freaking time talking about so many things that don't really matter. But this is the kind of shit that gets me going. This is what I'm about. Okay. Let's get through these comments here. I'll do my best to get through these. I see a couple more zaps have come through the airwaves here. Somebody sent, oh, okay. So this doesn't help me either. Somebody said double shot of espresso was from me. I'm going to guess that was Moravian. It's not telling me it was from Moravian, but I'm going to guess that was from Moravian. I'm just going to assume that. And if I'm wrong, you got to tell me. But looks like we also got a zap here, a coffee. Not an espresso, but a coffee, the daily coffee, I think it is. And it's high because the exchange rate is low. 4694. 4694. That might be one of the bigger ones we've had in a long time. Duncan. So that was Duncan. DCA. 4694. Thank you, Duncan. Appreciate that, man. If you're enjoying the conversations here, obviously make sure you're coming by here in the mornings. I would consider hopping over to our uncensored real chat, which is over on Rumble. And just quick reminder, you know, I don't do this very often. I should probably do it more. But, you know, it helps. It's kind of an illusion, but it kind of helps. Makes me feel better. Makes me boost my ego a little bit here. If more people like what we're talking about, then I'll know to talk about it more. If you don't, if you're like, Jor, I don't care about this. I want to hear about what Sailor had for supper last night. Then don't. But if you like this kind of conversations, it's a really good feedback loop for me. Zaps obviously are the best form of feedback loop, but you know, everybody's in different situations. So that's the least you could do, I think. And yeah, to join over on, we call the real chat, the rednecks over on Rumble. You can just head over there, search 88 Sats, and we'd love to have you. Somebody might even buy you a membership. Who knows? But this is a good way to leave some feedback. Some real feedback. Okay, let's buzz through these. I'd sell enough to have zero debt, including mortgage for sure. See, you and I think much differently. I never plan to get rid of my mortgage. Why would I? If I only have to pay 3% a year for it, and I expect Bitcoin to go up by 20, 30, 40, 50% a year for the next couple decades, then why would I make that trade? Why would I pay off something if it's only costing me 3% instead of having that capital in something that's going to earn me 20, 30, 40, 50%? And I don't own my house anyway. So to me, paying off my mortgage would do nothing for me. You're just going to be, maybe you say, well, Jor, I'm going to use my mortgage payments then to buy more Bitcoin. Yeah, and that's fair. But like as time goes on, mathematically speaking, the Bitcoin is going to be worth more. So the dollars that you have that you would have been paying your mortgage on are now going to buy you less sats than if you just would have kept your mortgage. So I really don't ever plan on paying my mortgage off. Why would I? What's the benefit? What's the benefit? When supply shock? Been hearing about it coming for 5 years of my 9 years hodling. Soon. It's just, what's the point of holding something that's not going up any longer? I mean, it's really easy to say this kind of shit where we are right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't subscribe to this at all. If Bitcoin is $20,000 in 2036, then I would argue that it was a failed experiment. And what would I do then? I don't know. I'd probably feel pretty bad about myself. But I would also say I tried. You know what I mean? And I spent those years from 2019 to 2036 feeling very hopeful about the future. And again, you can't take that from me. You can't take those 20 years of feeling hopeful away from me. So, I mean, yeah, it would suck. Honestly, if Bitcoin's fiat exchange rate in US dollars is $20,000 in 2036, it's failed. But again, you're thinking about that. Like, what the hell? Where does this even come from? Why would you think that Bitcoin would be 20K in 2036 when it can't even fall below 60 hardly? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Unless something changes, unless people value freedom and value the ability to send value peer-to-peer across the world, or to carry their wealth across borders, or to secure it properly without the need for guns, if people stop valuing those things, then yeah, it might fall. It might be worth nothing. But humans like me value those kind of things. And as more and more humans figure out that that's what Bitcoin provides, demand goes up, supply doesn't change, therefore price goes up. I mean, I don't even know what the hell we're talking about here. We're just assuming it's going up forever. No, we're not assuming. Mathematically speaking, if people value freedom, sovereignty, the ability to move wealth across borders without anybody knowing that, ability to send value peer-to-peer across the world without permission, as long as people value those things, Bitcoin will go up forever. It's not an assumption. It's math. Like that, that's the broken link there, I think, that we're having. It's not my opinion. It's not an assumption. It's math. It's very basic math, very basic economics. More demand, more people figure out that Bitcoin provides freedom, sovereignty, everything you want. More people want to own it. More people want to own the same fixed amount of supply. The price goes up. That's what happens. Like, it's not my opinion. It's objective. Okay, there's a lot of comments here. We can't really, if we got into all these comments here, we'd be here for 4 hours. Bandman says, hey, George, good to see you, buddy. Hope you have a good show. So far, so good. So far, so good. I'll trade 5 years of life for $1 million. Really? Okay. I mean, that's a good thought experiment right there. Is like, if somebody offered you $1 million, but you're not going to wake up tomorrow, would you take it? Probably not, because you value time more than money. I feel good about quantum computing. Yeah, we're not talking about quantum computing here. We're talking about quantum physics. George, do you subscribe to remote viewing? Like, people can see in their mind a location that people are going about the day. I don't subscribe to it, and I don't not subscribe to it. I don't know enough about it. I don't know how it works. I don't understand how it works, so I don't really have an opinion on it. I do know that objectively there's been a lot of remote viewers through the years who have accurately predicted things. So Shamir Secret is super secured as well and less risk than a multi-sig. The XPub from a multi-sig is a turnoff. Why? I mean, that's why I love the Citadel Vault so much, because you can store all of your multi-sig data in the Citadel Vault, including the private keys to each wallet, the XPub of the multi-sig, your wallet descriptor, all the data you need, you store that in the vault. And then you can mess things up. So I would disagree with this. Less risks. I mean, yeah, less risks based on what we have right now. But as more things like the Citadel Vault come out, where you can store all that information offline, securely encrypted, then multi-sig makes more sense. So trading 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 large pizzas is a good deal in your eyes. I mean, I don't even know what that means. At the time, yeah, it was a good deal. Because at the time, $10,000, 10,000 Bitcoin was only worth 2 pizzas. So like, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. At that time, that exact moment, 2 pizzas were worth 10,000 Bitcoin. But what's changed? Think about that. Think about this. What has changed since then? Why can 10,000 Bitcoin now basically buy a frickin' country? Why? Why did that happen? Did Bitcoin improve? Did Bitcoin get better? Did it go through a bunch of upgrades that suddenly made it more valuable? No. What happened was that more people figured out what Bitcoin were. There was more demand for Bitcoin. There was more people who wanted to hold Bitcoin. That's what happened. So that's what you need to understand here. And in 10 years from now, do you think there's going to be more or less people who understand the value of Bitcoin? I would guess more, based on the conversations I have, based on the people I see, based on the faces here. There's going to be more people who understand Bitcoin in 10 years from now. So what does that mean? So if that means that 2 pizzas right now you might be able to buy for 50,000 sats, that means as more people figure this out, Bitcoin continues to reprice things. And in 10 years from now, you might be able to buy 2 pizzas with 50 sats. But the only ingredient there is more demand. And the only thing that drives more demand is people figuring out what Bitcoin is. Like, that's a perfect example there. Bitcoin didn't get better since this trade happened. It didn't improve. Nothing changed. Just more people wanted to hold it because more people understood it. That's it. I got rid of my Cardano bag at 90% loss and couldn't feel better. Good man. So what would you measure Bitcoin against? Can you have your own measuring stick and you can't convert that measurement to another to compare, confirm you are thinking right? I'm not sure what that means. Seems like the masses are all sedated, practically asleep to a subtle degree. For sure. For sure. Wait, don't be lying. Bitcoin price is less than it was 6 years ago. So this whole price going up forever argument needs to stop. No. You're putting a time frame on it. I mean, is Bitcoin up from 4 years ago? Yeah. You can cherry pick any kind of data that you want to fit your own narrative. Is Bitcoin up from 10 years ago? Yeah. 7 years ago? Yeah. 8 years ago? Yeah, significantly. 10 years ago, 12 years ago? Yes. So, I mean, you're too focused on like the weeks, the week price. Again, I'm not saying that this is my opinion. It's not a narrative. It's not any of that. It's math. It's math. I didn't think it would be 60K now. I was thinking 160 now. I've been stacking since 2016 and losing hope, actually. You've been stacking for 10 years and you still don't understand what I'm saying. Robert says, George becoming the Rush Limbaugh of Bitcoin. Thanks for all you do. Let's go. Well, we got some OGs here losing hope. That's sad. It's sad. And it's really crazy to me how you could spend so much time in Bitcoin and maybe you just spend time looking at the wrong things. But me personally, I've never been more bullish on Bitcoin because I understand this stuff. I understand what's happening here. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying based on the comments I've seen, it doesn't seem like we align in thinking. ADL 1998 says, Jorsky, been a while, bud. Good to see you're still preaching the good work. Seems people have forgotten 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Well, I mean, you got people from 2017 here in 2016 who are losing hope. But U.S. Open Shinnecock starts today. Heck yeah. It's probably on right now, isn't it? Soon. That's my new thing soon. I really like that. This is the bottom you will see. Could be. It could be. Could go down further. I don't know. That's the thing. And I don't care. And if you understand that when the price of Bitcoin is down, you can accumulate more. So yeah, I mean, if you've been around since 2016, 2017, has your investment been good? Let's look. I think people need to understand that the universe doesn't work on their timeline. That's what people forget. The universe doesn't work on their timeline. But let's say you bought Bitcoin back in 2016. Let's see if let's see if it was a good idea or not. June 2016, June 18th. Was it a good investment? We're at 63,000 USD today. And in 2016, you bought it for $753. So you have at least a 60x there, and you're complaining? You're losing hope? Make that make sense to me. You paid $753. You exchanged 753 US dollars for one Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is now worth 63,000, probably more like a 70x, and you're losing hope. It just sounds like you need to change your timeline or appreciate what it's done so far and understand that the world doesn't work on your timeline. This is a great comment here from Rave Elevator. It says, remote viewing, get drunk and stare at the remote control across the room. I guess PBS is okay for now too. Have you ever tried sitting in a room by yourself without any noise or TV or music or podcasts on and just finding a spot on the wall, on the window, wherever, and just looking at that for a while? It's a good exercise. I don't do it enough. We got some Kip Moore playing in the background right now. Learning as I go. What a good tune. What a good tune. Sorry I'm late. A little work and watching the New York Knicks parade. Did I miss anything good? I would say we had a good show today. Some people might say otherwise, but I would say these are the shows that I love. 2022, same thing happened. Do people not understand? So I think it was January 3rd, 2020. Would it have been that long ago? I think it was January 3rd, 2023 is when we launched 88 Sats. That was our golf Bitcoin fund. And the price of Bitcoin around that time was like 15K, I think. Let me check. I think that's when it was, 2023. Anyways, I mean, I don't even give a shit, to be honest with you. I don't care. Sorry. The point of what I'm trying to say here is I don't care. Again, what's the alternative? That's another thing to ask yourself. What's the alternative? You really want to leave your capital, your wealth, your hard-earned value in the hands of somebody else? Do you know how powerful it is that you can fucking hold your own keys to your wealth and buy things from somebody else across the world without anybody else knowing that you bought that thing? Like, do people not understand how valuable that is? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I could be. But I like it. I like it. Have you heard of the hardware wallet Seed Signer? Yes, Seed Signer is great. It's just it's not overly user-friendly, I would say. You got to put in some work. Cold Card basically does the same kind of purpose, except for it stores the private key. The Seed Signer doesn't store the private key. You can also generate it yourself randomly, but you can also do that with cold card too. Like if you use the dice rolls, you can add entropy to your private key. That's why cash flow is king. Bitcoin holding is just equity. If you have both, it's better. Agree. Okay, I mean, you guys are still talking about the fiat price here. Also, gold is infinite. You can find more, but there's limited Bitcoin available. Exactly. Pavel gets it. Good evening from Prague, Czech Republic. God bless. Man, I had such a good time in Prague. I will 1000% be going back to Prague at some point in the future. 2027, I don't know. We'll see. But man, I love YouTube so much. I love YouTube so much. You can't price Bitcoin in fiat dollars. Exactly. They're not the same things. But I mean, the key here, though, I think, Bitcoin Barber, is that if you rewatch what I talked about with this, if you rewatch the part that I had on this, then you understand why we still price Bitcoin in fiat dollars. Because that's currently the unit of measurement of the globe, US dollars. So right now, it actually does make sense to price Bitcoin in fiat dollars. But the point is it's not always going to be the case. As more and more people figure this out and we move to a real unit of measurement, then yes, dollars are completely non-existent, completely irrelevant. But today you still have it because you still have the ability to trade fiat for Bitcoin, right? That's the whole thing, is that at some point in the future, you will not be able to trade any amount of fiat dollars for Satoshis. You just won't. Why? Because nobody will know what a dollar is. Nobody will know in 50 years from now what the hell this is. It'll be like in a textbook somewhere saying how fucking stupid were people back in 2026, 1913 to 2026, that they let them use this. Actually, no, this would have been 1971, where it became the Federal Reserve note. Nobody will know what this is because it's nothing. It literally represents nothing. There's no energy to create that. At least this piece of paper, it took like part of a tree, which you need to grow a tree with water and sunshine and all this other stuff. But the digital dollars that we have now, that's why I say you can trade 1 unit of the worst money in human history for 1,600 of the best, because the digital dollar is the worst money that we've ever had before. And at some point, you won't be able to trade any amount of those fiat Federal Reserve notes for Satoshis. So that's when it becomes completely irrelevant. But you'll still have an exchange price between how much gold can you buy for, or how many Satoshis does it take to buy an ounce of gold? How many Satoshis does it take to buy a house? And so as that whole transformation happens, that's when a house goes from $500,000 to 500,000 Satoshis. And if you understand the variance there, then you understand the opportunity that we have right now. We shouldn't even be talking about that. And again, I mean, going back to this is like, we have to price it in fiat dollars because that's still the unit of measurement for the world. But it does no good like thinking about what the price is and kind of valuing your own self based on that, because they're two different things. One's fake, one's real. It's very similar to like if you had a JPEG. Like think about this. Think about it this way. If you had a piece of art, let's use Madex because he's a great Bitcoiner. He's a great artist. Let's say that you had a Madex print, and he only made 21 of these prints, and then you took a picture of it on your phone, and you said, "Oh yes, I got that. I got the picture from Madex. I have this art." It's like, no, Madex spent hundreds of hours. It doesn't matter. He could have spent 1 hour making it. That's not the point. If people value it, if people want to buy that thing, there's only 21 available. But you have a picture of it on your phone, which you could make millions, trillions, bazillions of copies of. So comparing fiat to Bitcoin is basically like comparing a picture on your phone that you took of somebody's of art to that actual piece of art. So how many pictures on your phone does it cost to buy one Matex print of the picture on your phone? How many? That's fiat to Bitcoin. It's the exact same thing. Fake and real. Unlimited, zero cost to create versus limited and requires physical energy to create. That's the comparison there. Class of 18, guess I'll lose hope. Guess I'll lose hope in 1 to 2 years. Maybe. Spravine says, focusing on saving in Bitcoin is one thing, but increasing your cash flow to buy more Bitcoin is the real deal. Bitcoin gives you a perspective to increase your earning potential. Yep. Agree. Okay, so AKS says, I'm up 383 since 2017, but that's not fabulously wealthy, and cancer got me at age 38, so time is luxury. I don't have, kind of would like nice things before I'm dead. I appreciate that, man, but again, the universe doesn't work on your timeline. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say here. So, I mean, that's also your lens. You could say, well, you know, I want to be rich right now before I die. Or you could say, hey, the money that I had back in 2017 is up 383%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you could look at one situation from many different lenses of it. Sin says, I do that daily, George. Staring at a single object in silence, very satisfying. Isn't it? It's weirdly satisfying. And the longer you do it, the better you feel. Patience, exactly. And yeah, that's a great point here, is health is wealth. Based on this. Like, it's fucking brutal. It's not right. It's not fair. But that has no impact on Bitcoin. And being 383% up for your initial investment. So you might say, well, why didn't I buy more? If had I have known it was going to be up 383%, I probably would have bought more, but you don't know. And just like right now, people are losing hope. It's like, well, the people who understand what's going on here are buying. Good morning, by the way, Sin. Sin sent a zap. Man, everybody's feeling poor. I notice that right now. It's crazy to me, but it's real. And you know, the flip side happens too when Bitcoin goes way up. But I notice pretty much in every aspect of my business day to day of how poor people are feeling right now. Sucky. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So we can't price Bitcoin and anything else. Just one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, but we don't know what the value exchange rate of Bitcoin is. What is the Bitcoin to shrimp ratio? Don't know. The universe works when it wants to. I will take 383%. No doubt. I mean, talk to somebody who bought Bitcoin in 2026 and need it right now. Or 2025, and they're down 50%. So instead of being up 383, they're down 100%. Or they're down 50%. Be up a bit more, 400 if I had bought NVIDIA instead of Bitcoin. Yeah, you should have. You should have bought NVIDIA. Then you at least have somebody to blame instead of me. Then you could call... you could call the CEO of NVIDIA and say, hey, what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you up 450? I want 500. This 383, this 400% sucks. And that's the point too. When you're still talking in return terms, you're missing the plot. Paradigm says, I just stare at my dog and it makes me feel at peace in silence. Arnie's pretty good to look at too. I do the same. Except I usually have something playing in the background at all times, which I'm trying to be better at. Anyways, I got to go. I got a freaking busy day here. But remember, if nothing else today, we are right about Bitcoin. Even though the market tells you differently, even though you might be feeling bad about yourself, we are right about Bitcoin. And as long as Bitcoin does stay decentralized in terms of nobody has the ability to change the supply, and as long as it stays secure in the sense of miners are still allocating energy to the network, then this will mathematically happen soon. Seeing so many people bearish makes me think the bottom is near. I would say the same. But who knows? Like the chart watchers out there, they might be right. Maybe we see an all-time low in October. Who knows? I don't know. But at the same time, I will be happy if that happens, because then I can get the amount of Bitcoin quicker. I can trade the same amount of fiat for more Satoshis. Anyways, I'm getting out of here. Oh, we got to do a raid though. Should we raid? Yeah. Okay. So the supporters today. I want to give a big thanks to, because they deserve it. Maria 8K with a big couple shots of espresso today. A mysterious shot of espresso. We had a double shot from Moravian. We had a DCA from Duncan, and we had a membership from Chuck today. So shout out to my friends, my supporters. I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best to show up every day, no matter what the price is, no matter what kind of market we're in. I'm doing my best to show up here today. And more so than anything else is not have to rely on sponsors. And so far, so good. But again, if you have been getting any sort of value from this channel, people show up here every day. If you've been getting any sort of value in terms of education, entertainment, anything, and you feel like you want to give some back, you can join the school community. You can send to our rescue dog fund. That's a good way to do it. Or to Jor at Rizful. And God bless those who have. And we're going to be back here tomorrow. We're going to be back here for Fat Zap Friday. So we'll see how it goes. It seems like the audience here, I don't know why. I feel like we've had some really freaking good shows this week. But we took a week off. We went to Prague to try to spread the good word of Bitcoin. And people left. Maybe it was just the tourists. I don't know. But we got about half the viewership over on Rumble this week. So hopefully they find their way back. I mean, people are busier. I get it. But that's what I got for you today. So have yourselves an amazing Thursday today. Try to understand what I'm saying here with Bitcoin, because I think that if you can, it changes the way you approach the days and how you look at the world and how you feel about things. So have yourselves an amazing day today from Arnie and I. We love you. We thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, shit. We got a raid. Never mind. Got too ahead of myself there. Who should we raid today? We got to get these raids done. And if you're watching over on Rumble, please hop over to the raid and just say hello. Say hello from 88 Sats stream. Let's go to, this is a good one. This is one of my favorite shows on Badlands. The Choice. Amen to this, Paradigm. Amen to this. Badlands has raided the stream. Okay, well, we're going to raid the stream too. So raid. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Like I mentioned yesterday, we actually had about 10 people join the community yesterday. But the Visionaries community is still for free as of right now. I should probably mention this like at a time other than freaking 2.5 hours into the stream. But the Visionaries community is free only till I think I'm going to cut it off on June 30th. So if you're interested in joining, you still have the ability to. You will always have the ability to, but it'll just cost you at that point. So consider joining. Consider upgrading to premium if you want to support the channel, if you want access to all the content in there, all the courses, learn how to protect your private keys, learn how to manage your UTXOs, learn how to send, receive Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin the most effective way. Ton of stuff in there. A lot of great information and very, very inexpensive. So school.com/88 sats. And we're heading over to Badlands. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Join us in the Badlands if you're over on Rumble. There we go. Okay. Bye-bye.